friends, enemies, and whatever's in between. Welcome to Acast and Age of Empires 2. Shocker, I know everyone's surprised. They're like, wow, you do that on this channel? I'm absolutely interested in that. We've got an interesting little game here. It's 1600 elo, so 1600's got a lot of skill and, dare I say, creativity. I've never seen this before. I only read a little bit about this game. I don't know in full what happens, but check this out. We've got the new civ, the Dravidians, and Dravidians receive +5 population space upon making a dock. So it's basically a dock and a house, and normally players are going to start off the game with 2 houses, and Viva la France has gone for a house and another house, except it's a dock. Really interesting build order. I'm not sure if that's worth it per se. Obviously, now Red's going to need to chop straggler trees to be able to get the fishing ships, and then might have other issues because of it. But an interesting start for a Red player. I like the creativity there with the build. And then in the blue, a civ that I feel like receives so little love from us content creators and from the devs and everyone else, the Burmese. Burmese, they get their wood upgrades for free each age, which is awesome. They have really strong infantry. They have the extra pointy boys and the champions. And so they're normally an infantry civilization, but they could also go for a few other things we could maybe talk about in this game. For those of you that absolutely love the small trees that I normally cast just because it's easier to play and view the game, I apologize. I will not have that on for this cast. It is also possible I will not have that on for the next couple casts that you see on the YouTube channel because, well, long story short, I'm on a special version that the devs gave me because the other version broke the recorded games, and I don't want to reopen my game and re-add all my mods. So we're here. And the question I have to ask is this build order worth it? I mean, Red's got the fishing ship bringing in res. Obviously, this villager's been bringing in food too. I think the key in determining if this is worth it is both the TC idle time for Red, but also if Red is able to make as many fishing ships. So it's the production as a whole, right? Because you get the dock up, and then you get the fishing ship up faster. But then your next fishing ship could be delayed. Like, Blue might not even dock over here, actually. Blue hasn't sent a villager out there yet. Normally, you have a villager over there already. But I noticed when Blue started, Blue actually had like 7 or 8 on food, so Blue went crazy with the food. And if you didn't notice already, the map is 4 legs. Oh, just passing. That was awkward. They almost butted heads right there. That would not be cool before war. And yeah, on this map, normally you want to focus heavily on water, as that's another way of bringing in food. You don't have to do that. Obviously, at this level, you would assume that players would do that. But you would be assuming incorrect. Oh, no, you wouldn't. Excuse me. There you go, Blue. Adding the dock. So let's look at the food collected, actually, right? Because Red is also only on board number 1, which is more standard with the water approach. Let's see. Red. Okay, so total resources collected is behind in food. But we'll check in on that. By the way, shout out to Capture Age. It's so cool that we have that. Be able to just look at it mid-game. If Blue's going to have fewer fishing ships, then you never know what's going to happen. So we've got 1600 elo. 1649 versus 1660 to be exact. If it's ever a recorded game, that's at the bottom right. And shout out to the T90 official Discord, where there's a game submissions channel. And you might get lucky. If you want to submit your game there, maybe, just maybe, I'll cover one of your games someday. My Twitter would not be the place to contact me with that. The email on my YouTube channel that you have to click and confirm, yes, this is for business reasons, before you send me the email, that's also not the place to send the games to some of the people who have done that. There's a lot of different ways you can contact me. I try and respond if I have the time and energy. But as for the games, you definitely want to use the Discord. All right, so Blue has gone for a different approach. Hasn't fished a lot, right? So it's just 1 fishing ship. Red is 4 fishing ships right now, which is awesome. And we have a house being placed here from Blue. And here comes the villagers. And oh my god, the fancy plays from Blue. All right, Blue, well, it was a nice attempt. I respect it. You know, this is Red Scout. And the thing that's beautiful about this map is that if you know the quote-unquote meta, if you know the usual things that happen, you're going to be looking for docks. You're going to be thinking about the water. You're not really going to be thinking about sneak villager. This is sketchy. Red, are you really just going to luck out and find this right now? Red, where are you going, bro? Actually, you know what it is? Oh, just passing for the second time this game. I think Blue noticed that. I think Red is checking to see if Blue's going to sneak a Vill here. Because that's a very common thing on this map. Yeah. Look, he's even bringing another Vill over here. To maybe even make a second dock. Anyways, Blue's going to see that scout. Blue's going to want to attack that scout. And Blue's got a forward barracks here. But Red... Oh my goodness, Red pulls the villager, and Blue's going to take the fight, but Red's doing the right thing. And he's going to go scout rush right in his face? No, you cannot have my fax number. Scout rush right in his freaking face over here. And of course, Red's kind of scared of this whole area. Red's like a little worried, so Red's going to keep an eye on this. Blue, you don't want to take Red to this area, though. And oh, what an important moment of the game! What an important moment of the game! Oh! And now Red noticed something and sees the stable. And, well, Red is going to go man-at-arms. Barrack technologies are cheaper with the Dravidians, so that's nice. Blue really wants to kill this villager. Like, Blue is going to send the scout in after it. Shouldn't do so, though. Shouldn't do so. Awkward. Life is hard. And, okay, we have aggression. So, I think so far, Red has kind of dealt with this pressure really well. But there is the craziness aspect to it, and you just know that Red has never faced up against anything like this before on this map, right? I mean, maybe they have a history. But we've just got a tower here on the dock, and Red's probably like, what? And does Red send some of the villagers? No, Red sends all the lumberjacks. Red's like, Dravidians get extra wood at the start of feudal anyways, so why do I even need to chop it? And Red's town is just not really pleased with this situation. I mean, they're really upset about it. And I don't necessarily blame them. And Red said, I'm not going to try and, like, balance out how many villagers I send to deal with this. That's too complicated. Let's just send everyone. And at least Red knows how to commit, right? Okay, so Red is the lead, right? Like, let's actually look real quick. I got to pause because this game is so aggressive. My goodness. This is more stressful than high-level games. Yeah, Red has collected more resources, but there was a lot of idle time for Red. And I'm sure their worker efficiency went way down throughout that. And you can see the WELM. That's last-minute worker efficiency. Still, though, the man-at-arms, the spearman, the archer, all this is having a ton of success here. And as long as Red is a little careful here with his forces and doesn't toss away spearmen, I could see this putting an end to the whole entire push. I think the key, though, is the fact that Blue's done a good job there of using the vills against spearmen. And now there's no spearman to protect the archer. But even still, that lady, she's dead. She fell right into the barracks. Whoop! Right through the wall. And also, another thing you look at in these hectic games is the TC idle time. Are they creating villagers all the time? And what's their focus? Now, let's give Blue some credit, because Blue added fishing ships with all this. So, like, Blue has turned this into a land game, but Blue's still on water. Both players have the wood upgrade, no farming upgrades, which makes sense. And now Blue is just going to kind of give up on this. And Red's going to try and wall up the stable. A really good idea to wall in this stable. And also, I love Red's insistence to counterattack. A lot of people ask me, like, T90, what's the difference between this elo and this elo? Honestly, I feel like the lack of hesitation, or how much hesitation a player has before the next decision, is a big differentiator between elos. Because I might look at, like, 1,000 elo that has this much TC idle time, but Red's like, boom, I've got to wall this. Boom, I've got to counterattack. And now Blue's like, boom, he's trying to wall this. I'm going to have a scout. So basically, it's the speed at which you do things, but also the decisions, of course. I'm impressed with both of these guys. These guys have played like maniacs so far. Look at Blue, too, trying to scout the other pond while also sending a villager over there to dock. And, you know, Blue really doesn't have a lot at home, and it looks like Blue's plan was just to go tower defense. Now, this I don't completely understand. Red, you can actually run around this. I think Red was probably looking at this, though, because Blue is trying to be a pain. Well, oh my god, Blue's going to get housed because of this. How could I misunderstand Red's genius here? He just somehow calculated how many houses Blue had. And now Blue can't make anything. And Blue's gonna make a new house. Let's go! There is a galley for Blue. And Blue's still continuing to fish. As both players should do. There's so much... Actually, there's like very little fish on this. I guess that's the efficiency of the Dravidian fishers. Right, I call them fishers. But okay, galley and defense here. And Blue's really struggling for wood, actually, more than anything. But does have a lot of farming eco. It's going to try and finish these houses here. And probably will be forced to make a tower here on this wood line because Red's got a lot of pressure here. And oh god, he opened the gate! He opened the gate! There's a traitor amongst us! Who let him in there? Burn him. Burn him at the stake. I don't know. Is that what they did to traitors? I guess it depended on where you're at. I don't need detailed information, by the way, here on the live stream or in the YouTube comments of what they did to traitors in different areas of the world. I can live without that. Just being stupid. All right. So here comes a villager now from Vive. Is it not Viva? Is it Vive la France? Anyways, the Frenchman, I assume, is over here. And, wow, both players have done a great job of balancing their economy for Castle Age. Very impressed. My favorite thing, though, around Red's play is that Red has produced so much army. Like, Red has continuously produced army pretty much the entire game. Barracks was used a lot. You had both ranges being used a lot. Also got fletching at a good time as well. But Blue is using the more classic approach. You don't see this every day. Used to see it all the time back in my day. And he's just relying on towers. But the problem with towers is you need so many in so many different spots because otherwise this is going to happen. And now the total KD is 12 to 10 in this game, but it's 3-0 on the eco KD for Red. And I feel like Blue's in trouble. Like big trouble. This is painful for Blue. Blue doesn't have the gold to be able to click up to Castle Age right now. Dang. Okay. So, what's the plan long-term for Red? It looks like just ranged units, right? I like that. I like that a lot. Supplies! What? That means he wants to go for infantry, which could actually be like a bit of a flex against the Burmese, if you think about it. Because the Burmese have really good long swordsmen. Blue's going to just drop a tower here, which would allow Max's back to gold. But, I mean, still, not even the buildings to go up to the next stage. Such a horrible feeling to have almost the resources to go up, but you're just stuck here because of the lack of buildings. Look, this villager couldn't even make a dock this entire time because of the lack of wood. And now we can look, and you can see Red is really pulled ahead with the resources. Now, I forget the specifics of the bonus, and Blue just might straight up be dead here, honestly. Blue might just die to longswords. But the Dravidians have, I think, increased carry capacity on fishing ships. I think they go up to 30 with how much they can carry. And that really helps because that's fewer trips back and forth to the dock. I don't know if they also have an increased income. I mean, that would, in theory, help the income. But yeah, anyways, it's just trying to remind you guys of the Dravidian bonuses. Again, cheaper barrack technologies for the Dravidians. And I like how Red doesn't mess around, right? Red just says, this could get worse for me longer the game goes. Who knows? I'm going in on this. I'm not going to let you build a castle. I'm going to go for longswords. And we're going to see elephants as well. Also, love the Bodcanero choice because that helps the ranged units. Red is really doing a lot here and playing full open as well. Only walls that Red really made in this game was around the stable. Has forced a lot of towers from Blue. Blue is halfway to Castle Age now. You cannot make rams with the Dravidians. You can only make the armored elephants. But Blue's going to see that. And Blue's going to be like, hope this goes well for my Vills. Yeah, plus 15 carry capacity combined with the plus 5 population space from the docks. Those bonuses, apart from even the Dravidians tech tree, which you could also talk about, make the Dravidians a top-tier flexible water save. I think they're a little bit worse on this map than Japanese just because they can't make knights. But, like, they're on par with Japanese. And I always have compared this civilization with the Japanese. Lots of infantry archer play. Struggle with siege overall. And struggle with cavalry. In before someone says, but 290, the Japanese get bloodlines. They do, but getting bloodlines doesn't make your cav any stronger past the castle age. Okay, so Red's really waiting, and Red's kind of making everything. Someone asked Red, what army are you going to make this game? And Red said all of it. Or Red just said yes, I guess. And Blue's going to drop a castle here. And honestly, I don't see how this castle gets stopped, because you've got 3 towers, and you've got the castle. There's something satisfying about this. And we might see, well... Oh, okay. I take it back, actually. This could definitely be denied. Blue's going to try and wall up. Red's going to see this. If these villagers get hit, the castle's denied, and I'm going to eat my words. Oh, pain! Okay, what did I say? Can we edit that out, Hardy? Let's just edit that out. We'll just, you know, remove that. Sort of. Kind of, maybe. Or we can leave it in. This is what many people might call a doubt castle. Blue's getting massacred by the longswords. Burmese on the other end of a longsword attack. 92%. This castle's not going up, Blue. Blue calls the GG. Dang, what a wacky game that was. Like, I think Blue definitely reminded me of a player who maybe isn't too comfortable with how this map tends to play out. Like the Dark Age, for example. Just didn't look like you would maybe want in most cases. I actually think the big mistake for Blue came back with the engagement here of the Scout. So, you know, I'm not going to use this as a full-on coaching situation because I think that, you know, we're here to get entertainment. But Red didn't know about this attack. And the whole point of making this here is to surprise your opponent, probably. So I think when you see this, you don't run back here. I think he thought about it. And unfortunately, Red just spotted the house there. But I think what you do is you actually just send your Scout this way. You can let it die, but you just want to take him away from the attack. Because I think otherwise Red runs forward with that army. Obviously, you could have some problems there if you're Blue still. But Red's not going to expect it, and I think you could massacre Red. But I like this game a lot because we got to see the power of the Dravidians, and we got to see some flexible things that you can do from the Dravidians. Now, I'm not sold on the start there for Red. Like, I don't know if the dock at that time was necessarily worth it, but I don't think it hurt much. I think that Red still had a really good start, and I appreciate creativity when I find it. Blue also, I think this becomes a closer game if Blue just had the wood to make the buildings. Blue could have been in Castle Age 2 minutes faster, and if Blue could have been in Castle Age 2 minutes faster, this castle obviously goes up. At this point, the wood was secured. It would have protected the stone and the gold, and Red was wide open, so maybe we would have seen Arambai or something. So that was the main issue there for Blue. But, man, 1,600 elo is pretty solid. If you end up seeing this later on YouTube, obviously love to hear if you want to see more of this level. The answer is yes, regardless. I think it's a fun level where you can see different things. I also, just to restate my point here as we close out the game, I really think Dravidians are solid on this map. And there's a lot of chatter about Dravidians, and, oh, the Dravidians and the Bengalis are bad, and then the other 2 new civs are good. Maybe that's the case, but again, Dravidians and Japanese just ring bells with me. And Dravidians having faster firing skirmishers, cheaper infantry upgrades, extra fishing capacity, and the recent change where they get bombard cannon, I think it makes them pretty sick. In like Castle Age and early Imp, I think they could definitely do well. If you play into fish, if you play into infantry archer. It's a very well-balanced civilization, I think. They've got weaknesses. They've got strengths. They're not good at everything like, well, a few other civilizations are right now.